Part 2. Primary care groups. Primary care groups are common systems used in the infant and toddler groups. However, they are not limited to these age groups and are also beneficial to have in preschool groups. Establishing primary care groups and primary caregivers allow healthy relationships to form between the child and the caregiver, thereby promoting an environment where the child feels safe and secure, which in turn promotes learning and development. In this part of the training, we will go over the 2 parts of using a primary care group system that we use here at BrightPath. The first part is the role of the team in a primary care group system, and the second part is about the role of the individual, or the primary caregiver, in their primary care group. Let's start with the role of the team, meaning all the staff members in the room, when a primary care system is used. Using this system does not mean that one person cares for a child exclusively all the time. There has to be teamwork. All the staff in the room are responsible for the care of all the children in the room, despite which children belong to which care group. For example, if a child gets hurt, but they are not in your primary care group, you are still expected to help that child and then communicate the incident to the other staff in the room and the child's primary caregiver. All staff in the room must ensure that they know where all the children are at all times and how many are in their care at any given time. All room staff should be able to communicate with parents and families on a daily basis. When families give you information regarding a child's medications, allergies, changes in behavior or routine at home, staff should ensure that every caregiver in the room is aware of these changes or requests. Make sure that all necessary forms are filled out and completed correctly, and staff are communicating with each other, either in a written room staff communication book or verbally. When parents or guardians pick up their children from the center, room staff should be able to give the parents or guardians a brief description of their child's day, even if the staff is not a regular room staff. This is why it's important to fill out daily communication reports for each child or to communicate with each other before leaving for the day. No parent wants to hear, "I don't know why your child is hurt," when they come to pick up their child. Make it a point to know about the children in your care. Using primary care groups can help with forming small groups during activities or transitions. When children know which group they are in, they become familiar with the routine and are able to self-regulate easier. For example, Sarah's group may go outside at 10 a.m., whereas Hamida's group goes outside at 3 p.m. When establishing the care groups, decide amongst the staff team the best way to establish each group. This may be based on age, dynamics and needs of the children, or their attachment to certain caregivers. Try to avoid placing all the children with behavioral needs or children who don't get along into one group, as this may cause increased stress for that caregiver. Care groups should never be divided according to intellect, gender, race, or culture. Primary care groups should remain as consistent as possible. However, there are times when groups may need to be changed. For example, when new children arrive to the class or when children need to be switched due to the children's needs. Communication is key. Keep open communication with everyone in the room. We are there for the safety and well-being of the children in our room, so it is everyone's responsibility to know what is happening at all times in the room. Now let's go on to the role of the individual or primary caregiver with his or her primary care group. The main purpose for creating small primary care groups is to reduce the paperwork for each caregiver. It's much easier to focus on 8 children's developmental progress reports than 21 children's progress reports. This is what each primary caregiver is responsible for completing. Daily communication reports. Primary caregivers should ensure that the daily communication reports are completed for each child in their care. If daily written reports are not used, then it is your responsibility to ensure that the parents are receiving information about their child's day, whether it's through one-to-one communication, notes, or relaying the information to a staff member who will be present at the child's pickup time. Developmental progress reports. Having small groups allows you to focus on the details of the development of the children in your care group when completing developmental progress reports. Since everyone is observing and caring for all the children, ask the other staff for information regarding the development of the children in your care if you need help, or refer to the written observations that all staff complete daily. Observations. Make sure that there are written observations about the children in your care, whether you write them or other staff have recorded some. These written observations will assist you when it comes time to do planning, complete developmental progress reports, or even when talking with families. Child's portfolio. Make sure that you have enough materials in each of your children's portfolio to make a complete record of each child's development. If artwork or pictures are being replaced on boards, make sure you collect these and store them in each child's portfolio. You don't need to keep everything, so send home what you don't need and keep what you think is evidence of learning or reaching a developmental milestone. Parent conferences. When parent conferences or meetings come around, it may be easier for parents to go to one staff member to discuss their child's progress and learning, instead of going to each caregiver to get bits and pieces of information. Before parent meetings, have a team meeting with your co-workers to ensure that everyone has the correct information about the children in their care group. Who knows? You may get a cute or funny story from another caregiver that you didn't know about and can now share it with that child's family. Primary caregiving in no way should replace the team approach in any classroom. By assigning children to a particular educator, we are asking that individual to assume primary responsibility, not total responsibility. Establishing a primary care system in your room will help to create a warm and safe learning environment for every child in your class.